Welcome back, Keepers, to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. I am Gabrielle Dolan.
And looking pretty in pink, I might
Thank
add.
you.
Very feminine.
That's me.
That's so you. I'm Jac Phillips. Lovely to see you again, Ral.
Yeah. I'm Pretty in Pink album. Pretty in Pink movie.
Yeah.
An album. God, I love that.
Yeah. Gosh,
that
that's going
soundtrack.
back 80s, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Everything
80s.
good came out of the 80s.
Everything good came out of the 80s. I tell you what was good the other weekend.
I know.
Well, the other week. Actually, it wasn't weekend. But I took it with me into the weekend. It was our last Keepers immersion in Millawa.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 incredible women. Bloody rock stars, right?
Yeah.
And none of them had met. No one knew each other. It's like a blind sort of
Kind of
reveal.
strangers leave as
Mates.
just connections, lifelong
mates.
connections. For those that don't know what we're talking about, Jac and I run a 3-day immersion twice a year. We take 8 people away for 3 days and do masterclasses, mentoring, and it's just amazing. So
We also do it at a very luxurious
yes,
hotel that is also very intimate and quiet.
Yep.
Amongst vineyards.
no training rooms,
No training rooms.
Master
Everything's
classes
done
under the
outside
trees next-
or in certain areas of the
Yeah.
hotel, which is really beautiful.
by the pool.
Great food, great wine.
Yeah,
Lots of rest.
yeah.
Lots of sleeping in. Come for a walk with us in the mornings and get a coffee and do a bit of mentoring with us. Anyway, there's the
so
WhatsApp group and they're all madly supporting each other still.
Yeah.
They've all organising to meet up, catch up. They've all, I think, signed up for our reunion, our
Yes.
Keepers Circle later in the year.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who listens to this and gets a lot from our episodes each week, we love doing them for you, and you'd like to actually go a bit deeper as far as understanding more about yourself, understanding more about certain things like executive presence, personal branding, networking, the water you carry, and you wouldn't mind a bit of one-on-one time with Ral and I, hit us up because I think we've got maybe a couple of spots left for the next immersion in September.
For the next immersion. They sell out every time. So
We only take 8. That's the
16th
number.
and 18th of September. But if you can't make that or if you miss out, then get on our waiting list and we'll let you know. Subscribe to Patreon because if you're on Patreon, one of the many benefits you get is you get early access to these live events.
Yay!
There
What
you
are we
go.
talking about
I
today?
know, that's podcast over.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not. It leads
a good one.
perfectly into it because genuinely all the women that came were highly capable, highly
seriously,
capable.
senior leaders.
And confident. If you saw them, if you met them, you would think they were amazingly confident, but they all walked out saying that they feel more confident. So this podcast episode is titled "The Work Speaks for Itself," except when it doesn't. So I think often women make the the mistake of going, my work will speak for itself.
The number of coaching clients and conversations I've had where I worked really hard, Jac, and it was obvious to me, the work would speak for itself. And I go, but
Yes.
except it didn't.
Yeah. It's a really flawed strategy if we're saying my work will speak for itself.
Just look at the work I've done and that'll get me to where I need to get to. So why doesn't it work, Ral?
Well, I think a couple of things. The work speaks for itself. It's almost like you're throwing it out there and hoping someone catches it or notices it, and everyone else is busy doing
the same
work
thing
that matters.
Yeah.
So, you should be doing good work, and it should speak for itself. But you should also be amplifying what you do. Yeah. And if you are ever in a position where you think I keep getting overlooked for promotions. Because this whole confidence versus capability, you need to be able to speak well about what you've done. And we've covered in previous episodes like the resume and stuff like that. So how you can
Portfolio of impact.
yes, how you can talk about the value you've added. That's in a written document. You've got to be able to do that. And you know what? And I think we'll probably talk about this too, Jac. It's just not talking about this when you're going for a job interview.
That's
talking
exactly
about it
it.
all the time.
That's exactly it, Ral. So the people I coach, it's not just women, it's men as well, but women particularly, I've done all this hard work. I work really hard. I've got all these achievements, but, no one looks at me. I get overlooked. And I say, so what are those achievements? And I do that as a bit of a test to see how articulate they are, so to see how they can sort of communicate that to me. And they don't, very rarely do they don't often communicate that well.
No.
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm talking to you probably for the first time. I don't work with you. I have no idea. Oh, look, it was just. So again, diminishing sort of statements. So I say the best thing you can do is actually write out what are the last 6 great things you achieved, but actually quantify what that was. How much money did you make the organisation? How much money did you save the organisation? What sort of retention of talent? What are all the things that you have just achieved from doing those specific things? Write them down.
Yeah.
Have you guessed what happens when we write things down?
I don't know.
Well, we have a greater opportunity to remember them if you write it down.
Yes, true.
You'll actually start to trigger neurons in the brain that actually, remember, comprehend that information. But writing it down means you've also got access to it to look at regularly. So this is called being prepared.
Yeah. Which will help you articulate it really well.
Correct. So instead of waiting for the work to speak for itself, if I've got 6 really great achievements in front of me that I have absolutely prepared myself, that I've written out, I know exactly what I did, and I've written them in such a way that they're really concise.
And if it's written down, it allows you to actually practice what you're saying, which you're more articulate. I mean, I offer the same advice with stories. Write your story down, practice it, so when you say it, you feel really confident saying it.
Spot on. Hey, there is something about writing with your hand and a pen. This is a pen, people, and not typing.
Okay, Grandma.
Well, I'll tell you why, what the secret is there. Because we type so much and we are all very, very competent at typing and we can type quickly, we tend to type a lot. When you're handwriting, our hands get tired now because we don't do that much, it actually forces you to write less, write it shorter. So if we're talking about writing down your accomplishments and your achievements and doing it in a way that's quite concise, then use a pen and paper. But you're exactly right, Ral. If you write it down, then you can prepare. And if you prepare, then you're actually doing that deliberately so that you can then speak for the work rather than it speaking for itself.
I just on writing it down, I must admit I do like things writing down as well. I think
yes, Nana,
it takes it in. We're going to the UK, and I've decided I'm going to do a travel journal.
A
travel journal.
Nice.
But one of the things you can do, and look, I use this when I'm doing virtual keynotes or workshops, but you could use it exactly the same if you're having a meeting with your manager or going for a job interviews virtually. Write out those achievements on a little Post-it note. So by default, it's a nice little succinct 1 or 2 sentence. And then say, for example, it was a job interview. We're not saying just do this at job interviews. I would have those Post-it notes all over my screen. Yeah. And then as you say them, just take them down.
Oh, this is so an online job interview.
Yeah, it would be a bit weird in person.
Nice. True. Hang on, can I just stick my Post-it notes on your forehead, please? Potential new boss. I like that, Ral. However, bullet points and short sentences written on a Post-it note doesn't always mean you will be articulate when you're actually talking to them.
True.
Yes. So the idea is to practice actually saying, in March, the team and I were able to achieve an incremental uplift in revenue because we, followed this strategy. That strategy allowed us to do X.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if you're listening to this and if you're feeling a little bit invisible at work, like if you are feeling, my work, I don't get noticed, I'm doing a really good job, I put a lot of effort in and I'm not noticed.
You had a research
stat.
Yeah,
they show that.
Around invisibility, which
there's all this research showed a third of people feel invisible at work, as in if they feel like they're not being noticed.
It's awful.
And that the feeling invisible activates the same neural pathways and stuff that's like pain. It feels like pain.
I bet it feels like pain.
Which then it triggers disengagement, triggers burnout, which makes sense, right? You probably don't even need the research for that.
No.
To show if you are feeling invisible, that doesn't feel good.
Well, no.
And you would start to disengage.
You're excluded.
Because you either start to become disengaged because you think no one's noticing what I'm doing, or potentially you keep trying harder and harder. Because you think the work will speak for itself, which will lead for burnout. So either way, not good strategies.
No. So if you're somebody who feels invisible at work, you're part of this research. A third of people feel invisible at work.
Yeah.
Here's some tips or keep listening as we talk about this, because we don't want you invisible. You've been hired for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and no doubt it's because you are very competent. You are very capable. You are good at what you do. So we need you being able to articulate that. We need you to be able to speak for yourself, not just expecting the work to do that.
Yeah. And you would see this, Jack, and then again, all the research shows that women have a bigger issue speaking about their achievements than men. And it's the amount of women that say to me, "Oh, I just hate blowing my own trumpet. I don't want to be trumpet. What did I say? Crumpet.
Careful, you'll be cancelled. Bit of crumpet,
like a little bit of a crumpet and trumpet on the side." But they'll go, "Oh, I worked with this guy once, and all he did was talk about how great he was and stuff."
And that's just not me.
And I don't want to be like that. It was like, well, don't be like that. No. Like it's so the amount of times it's like this one person they don't want to be like, so they go nowhere near that.
Yeah.
I mean, you would
all
coach
the time.
So many people
all the time,
very capable women
all the time
that come to you, and probably because. And I've heard you tell me this. They go for job interviews, they get two down, and they always miss out. And I can almost guarantee you it's because of confidence and not being able to articulate or to speak for the work you've done.
Remember that story I told you? There was two people, both of the same level, and they were sharing an admin person. The admin person left, so there was a male and a female, same level. Admin person left. So the female said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll pick up writing the notes for the meeting. I'll pick up doing contact reports, yada, yada, yada." And he goes, "Sure." So she started she tripled her workload effectively.
Yeah.
He carried on doing his workload. Came time for promotion, and he got it over her because he was able to focus on talking about his achievements, whereas she had spent most of her time doing admin because they hadn't replaced that person.
Yeah.
So, and I know that that's going a little bit off track, but the point here is, again, she felt that is what we should do. We should help others, which is a lovely thing to do. However, it was at the expense of her career or that particular opportunity. So what we're saying here is, if you are somebody who gets overlooked, if you feel that, your work should speak for itself, it doesn't. And to stop being overlooked, you need to start talking about what you do, but not in a way that is inauthentic. And I think that's where a lot of women go, well, teach me, how do I do that in an authentic way? First of all, prepare. What is it I want to actually be known for? What is it that I've done that I'm really proud of? What am I really good at that people have told me I'm really good at and I know I'm really good at? How do I start to talk about that more regularly? So I tell my clients, start using it in your day-to-day narrative. When we're talking about something in the workplace, you say, "Hey, I love strategy. I'm really good at it. That's something I can certainly add some value on. Why don't I have a look at it?"
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if there's a new project happening and it's around execution, I'm really good at end-to-end execution. That's something I'd like to put my hand up for to lead.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. I know that sounds like you're taking on more work. Those are just two examples. There are other ways of using
it's taking on the right type of work. So going back to your example, these two leaders, and if anyone's getting promoted, you're sort of making an assumption that it's more strategic, the higher you go in leadership, and someone's taking on admin roles. I mean, that by definition, that's showing that you're not strategic.
You're not strategic.
That you
and
love
that's
getting
all
into
you're
the
sort of
knitting.
good for.
Yeah, so you don't want to be doing that. Have you ever been overlooked for a promotion?
Oh, God, yes. Probably every.
But do you think it was because of? Do you think it was rightly so, or do you think I should have got that? But
I should have got the promotion because I was very capable, but I was absolutely shite at articulating why I should have the promotion.
Yeah,
and it was a leadership role, which would mean I would need certain executive presence in order to influence both those behind me as well as up the chain. So somebody else got it that was way better at articulating their capabilities. So our competence levels were probably equal, but they were better at talking about things.
I actually missed out on a job too, and I reckon it was for that reason. In the job interview, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I didn't. Capable, probably as equally as capable, probably let's say equally capable as the person that got it, the guy that got it. And I would almost say maybe I was more capable.
Yeah.
He was still very good, obviously, but he articulated the way he spoke, and I got feedback from this in the interview, and they told me what Phil had said. I've been going, oh, that's a good answer. Well, that's a good response. And his responses were a lot more strategic.
Speaking of preparing for interviews, I bet you did prepare, but you prepared the wrong things.
Yeah.
I used to research the company to the nth degree. So I could tell you more about the company than the people that had founded it. But when it came time to talk about myself. So this goes right back to the work speaks for itself, except when it doesn't. I couldn't articulate things in a way that made me, demonstrate how good I was. But if they asked me a question about the company, well, they didn't need to. They know the company, or they knew enough about the company. They want to know about me. So again, the work speaks for itself, except when it doesn't. In an interview scenario, where this plays out is you not being prepared with your achievements and how you can articulate those in a way that is totally compelling and aligned back to what that company needs.
Yeah. What about as a leader? Have you ever promoted someone that you look back and go, maybe you got sucked into the capability versus confident?
Confident versus capability.
Yeah, confident versus like you promoted someone who was very confident.
Absolutely. And you know why? Because we often tend to like people that are like ourselves.
Yeah.
Which says a lot really, doesn't it? So have absolutely put somebody in with the confidence, with the charisma. And the quieter one stayed in the back room, continuing to work away. And then it dawned on me a couple of months later, oh my goodness, their work is actually shining. Yeah. Their work is where what I need right next to me. That is the person I should have hired. So yes, I have done that. I absolutely have done that as a leader.
And you need both. We're not saying obviously you got to be, to get these promotions, you got to be competent.
Yes, clearly.
But sometimes it's the confident person. And again, maybe there's two people that are equal capability, but if one's more confident, they'll probably get the job.
Absolutely.
Before we press record, we were talking, you said if you went into a heart surgeon, you'd want them to be capable as opposed to confident. And then you went, I want both because again, if you're not confident, perhaps you're second guessing yourself.
You're not decisive. Exactly right, and you're inefficient. Correct. Yeah. So this is about being both confident and competent. But let's remember, confidence can show up in many different ways. Yes. Yeah. So you and I are pretty, outgoing. We've got fairly big personalities. We've got years of experience, and so we're fairly confident externally, outward going. There are people I know who are quietly confident.
Yes, absolutely.
And that has a real executive presence, right? Yeah. Somebody who doesn't talk a lot, who does a lot of active listening, who when they do speak, it's mic drop stuff. Yeah. So you don't have to be an extrovert.
This isn't about introvert, extrovert.
Chest beating. No.
Some people we spoke, one of the participants on our immersion the other week, we just said had this just quiet, confident energy.
She was incredible.
It was so good.
She was incredible.
But yeah, so I think if you're a leader, you've got to be careful of not falling into the confidence over capability trap.
So one of the things to do, and I coach leaders on this, is look for the people in your team or in your network or around you, your peers, who aren't saying a lot but who are really delivering, and make sure you keep asking them to speak up, yeah? So as a leader, your job is to unlock the potential of talent, and you'll have talent in your team. Just because that talent is quieter doesn't mean to say it should be left quiet. So your job as a leader is to encourage them to grow their confidence around speaking and speaking up. I was coaching one particular person and her CEO came to me and said, can you help them? They are clearly the most smartest in the team. They're the most competent in the team, but they are the least confident. And one of the things that really drives me nuts, he said, is that she doesn't speak up in meetings. She's so polite. She waits for everyone else and then we move on. He said, and I'm missing information from her because she's got the information. So I feel like she's actually not helping the company. So I obviously worked with her and I said, one of the things you should do is absolutely speak up very early in every meeting starting today. Oh my goodness, she said that. I can't just speak for the sake of it. I said, then have a question ready. Yeah. And also have something that is relative to what you're doing ready. But start to get into the habit of speaking up early. So she did. So every meeting she was, she set a little timer that didn't go off. It was online. But she had to speak up within the first 5 minutes. Yeah. She then took it a step further and actually would speak to the meeting organizer, if it wasn't her who was chairing the meeting, and say, can you throw to me? And put me on the spot almost, so I am prepared. I have to do this. Yeah. And that helped her speak up more.
Yeah. Okay. So I think if we wrap this episode with a few tips. If you're a leader, look, it's your job to unleash potential. So you got to ask the people that are perhaps less confident, make an effort to draw that out of them and coach them and mentor them to be more confident. If you are the one that it feels like your work is being overlooked, a couple of things that you said, Jac, that I really loved. write out how you've added value and accomplishment. Write them out. Practice saying them. Say it in a way that feels natural and authentic to you, and not braggy, but it feels good to you. So you're ready to say them at appropriate times. Don't just bottle it up for the job interview. Because the reality is you might not ever get the job interview because they haven't shown you
you haven't shown the confidence.
Dude, I love the idea of just speaking early. I've again worked with a lot of people that set a timer to be like, they either be the first person that speaks or to speak and contribute within the first 10 minutes of a meeting.
I liked your idea or your tip of putting Post-it notes on a screen. Obviously, not where them, you've got to look at somebody's eyes, but just to help remind you, these are the things I should be talking about.
Yeah.
Good one.
So there. Well, that's 3 good tips.
Good tips.
Right. So, hopefully you liked this, keepers. Please rate us. That helps us improve our reach. We are currently sitting at number 12 on Australian Business Career Podcast.
We're in Turkey too. Did you know that?
We're in Turkey. We're in Nepal.
Turkey.
We're all
Keehlan
over
tells
the
us we're in
place.
Turkey.
But the more people that share it, the more people that rate it, the more, just telling your friends about it. Obviously, we reach more people. So thank you if you've already done that. Keep it going. And if you want to subscribe to Patreon, there's a whole lot of more resources, extra episodes, bonus
masterclasses,
huge amount of masterclasses. My workshop, storytelling workshop, presentation workshop. Jack's got a whole heavy executive presence workshops. So really good value in there for a very small monthly fee. We will see you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac Ral. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.